Hey, it's Alex. This is Hashi, Life and Business from the Edge of Japan. And today I just wanted to talk about, is Japanese necessary to live and work in Japan? So I've lived here almost 20 years, and if you've watched my other videos in Japanese, this is really my first attempt at ever seriously using the language. So I've lasted here, yeah, 19 years, honestly, uh, purely using the language or learning the language through osmosis. And that's, from just living here, daily life, talking to people, listening to people, and really 99% of my Japanese is really from my wife. We've been together 15 years. So she pretty much uses Japanese all the time with me. So that really forced me to get my listening skills really high, at least. But I've never really needed to speak it. Like when she says something to me in Japanese, I just respond in English because her English is actually really good. But it's just more natural for her to express herself in her native language, and I do the same. So it's only when I started this Hashi that I really publicly started to use Japanese, and even in my more recent interactions, it's only been honestly this year, 2025, since I've really started to have, I guess, a need or even my own internal desire to use Japanese. So yeah, if long story short, is Japanese necessary to live in Japan? No, but it would make your life a lot easier, at least on the listening side. So yeah, I don't have any qualifications, any language tests, any JLP XYZ, whatever it's called. I've gotten this. I've lived in Japan this whole time without needing any of those licenses or certifications, and I've gotten by using my level of casual tamego izakaya Japanese. And yeah, I'm able to function and do business and get clients this way. And I have to say, if you're coming to Japan without any language skill, like I did, you're going to have to compensate in other ways. So yeah, I don't language skill is really low, but yeah, I've had really good relationships along the way, with people who were able to see my value and pay me. Because if you're gonna live here and be freelance, like I've never had a full-time job, and if you're gonna live in this country and survive, you're going to have to make up for that language gap with a lot of other things. So that has to be skills, it has to be like just showing your own value, and really it comes down to who you know, right? So yeah, the what I know is not the language, but the who I know has been able to get me everything I've ever wanted or dreamed of in Japan. So that who is going to be the key point, not the what. Because like me, I could have taken a language course, or I could have studied, or I could have done whatever, but that would have delayed me from achieving my dreams. And when I was 22 years old, I wanted to come here and just go and just take the action and chase that dream of at that time of being a DJ. And yeah, was I gonna take a year off at 22 to study the language and get all prepared before I come here? No. I wanted to come ASAP and just get started. And yeah, I was hoping to learn the language on the way, and I kind of did. But before I got the language, I got the connections and the relationships instead. And those friends and contacts really opened the door for me to have success and alignment in Japan. And so I would say, yeah, if you have level 0 Japanese and you want to live and work here, double down, triple down on your relationships. You can meet people online before you come. You can start posting content like this, or you can just visit and start making friends. Because the friends I have opened every door for me, and yeah, and I've reciprocated by helping them in their own ways as well. So yeah, like I don't like to see when people like delay their dreams or delay their goals because they think they have to get the language, or they have to get these certifications, or well, whatever you think you need. I mean, yeah, for some professions that's necessary, but if you're freelance, really you don't need any of that. And for me, it hasn't ever been a barrier, and and of course this is completely contextual to who you are and what you do and what your profession is. But me, I've done graphic design, I've done translation, I've done consulting, and what I do now is helping Japanese brands expand overseas. They need me for my English communication. They don't really need me for the Japanese communication. So yeah, it helps, and that's why I'm using it more now. But yeah, you have to prove your worth, really, for the clients to take you on and to trust you. And the only way you can build trust is to go out and meet people. So yeah, I mean, if your dream or your goal or whatever your ambition is to have a life in Japan, and you don't have the language skill, yeah, you can get started right away. But you have to understand that, yeah, you have to compensate for the language skill with relationships. And yeah, ideally, like me, the language skill would catch up eventually. But yeah, like I fully believe that. Yeah, it's don't use that as an excuse. Sorry, yeah, not fully believe, but yeah, I don't like to see when people use those excuses to not take a step in their life. If something is really in your heart and it's something that you really want to do, like you just do it, and the obstacles in the way are really just kind of stepping stones. And if you have the big vision, the big goal, the big dream, that's what you focus on. And if you're going to let a language skill or not knowing vocabulary block you from your dream, then that's not a real dream. That's not a real goal. Like you didn't want it enough to overcome those little barriers. So yeah, me moving halfway across the world to come to a country where I didn't know the language, didn't know the culture, didn't know anything, didn't know anybody. Like I just knew I had this dream, and I was gonna do whatever I could to achieve it. And I did. And I didn't need the language to help me get my first dream of being a top DJ. But 100% that was because of the relationships and the connections that I built. Just having good times with good people, and building the trust with them, and that really set the stage for me having success here. So yeah, if you really want to come here without the language, yeah, it might be tough. Yeah, I mean, I come from New York, so communicating 100% with everybody has never been a problem for me. Never been a requirement for me. So if I can get by with gestures or single words or mixing 2 or 3 languages, for me that's enough. Communication is communication. Like language is a small part of it, and yeah, I don't have those standards of needing to completely share exactly every little nuance that I would in my native language. Like that doesn't bother me. So yeah, you have to judge for yourself, like how much you really want to move or live, and not even in Japan, but anywhere else in the world. Like if you're going to exist internationally, or as an expat, or as a foreigner, as an immigrant, I guess you have to judge your own level of tolerance for that, I guess, of not being understood or not fully integrating. I mean, if that's a problem for you, then what can I say? Don't move. But if you have those desires, and your desire is strong enough, then language is just a tiny obstacle, right? And this is my personal take. A lot of other people, a lot more fluent than me, have a very different view of things. But I just want to put it out there that there are other ways of living and succeeding in foreign countries without knowing the language. So get out there, make a lot of friends, lots of relationships, and yeah, build that trust. And hopefully they will be there for your entire life in that country. And luckily mine have been for me. So yeah, thanks for watching. This has been Hashi, Life and Business from the Edge of Japan. See you next episode.